Okay, it's recording. This is the Planning Commission meeting to be held on Tuesday, October 12th, 2021 at 6 p.m. The meeting is called to order. Can you call the roll?
Alderperson Kastner.
Present.
Steve Rogers. Brian Weiss.
Present.
Don Carlson. Dave Schills. Bob Krenz.
Present.
And Mayor Knightsky.
Present.
And Mike Braswell is excused.
Awesome. Item 2, approval of the minutes from the September 14th meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve. By Commissioner Carlson, second by Commissioner Rogers. All in favor? Was it Weiss? Was it Weiss or Rogers? Rogers. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 4 and 4B is a special use permit for Dickey's Barbecue Pit, a proposed restaurant to be located at 5003 South 76th Street. This includes the site plan review.
Oh, number 3?
Did I miss something?
Number 3. Councilman.
Oh, discussion regarding last common council meetings. Sorry about that. 3 first.
Okay. Last month, the Common Council did approve the comprehensive land use map amendment and zoning request for the mosque, for the transition from Clemmers to mosque. And also, this is a discussion that the Plan Commission had regarding a potential ordinance amendment for non-conforming decks, patios, porches, breezeways, whether to be allowed in the front yard or backyard. And that was taken to legislative committee last month, where they discussed allowing porches. The recommendation is to allow porches and breezeways in the front yard, which would be a change. Today they're not. But to not allow decks or patios in the front, keep those in the back. And then they also recommended existing non-conforming decks, patios, porches, and breezeways could all be rebuilt, a one-for-one replacement, without having to go to the Zoning Board of Appeals. So that's the recommendation. We do have to hold a public hearing because it's Chapter 21, and that'll go before the Common Council in November.
I thought they recommended it come to the Planning Commission and we get a definition of what porches and breezeways are.
Yeah, the definition section would be amended as well. Yeah, I need to work with Brian on that. Do you want me to put that on November Plan Commission agenda?
That was their understanding, not mine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I must have forgotten about that.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to upset anyone.
No, I'll go back and listen again.
4E and 4B, again, is a special use permit for Dickey's Barbecue Pit and the site plan review. This is an existing building filling the 4th tenant space, right?
Correct. They're proposing to lease approximately 2,000 square feet for last space. Proposed hours of operation would be Monday through Thursday, 11 to 9, Friday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 a.m. It does include a bar. For seating capacity indoors, roughly 44 people, bar capacity about 15, plus 12 seats for outdoor dining in the front. They would provide carry-out and delivery service. The delivery would be through a third party. It's not like they would have staff parking and delivering as well. And they would need to apply for a liquor license in front of the Common Council. Regarding parking, the site for all 4 tenants requires 97 spaces, provided 96. There's a lot of different times with demands for the 4 uses. Staff doesn't foresee an issue with parking. Common Council may waive that, and staff recommends approval. Or excuse me, recommends Plan Commission's
I make a
recommended
motion for
approval.
both to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Weiss.
What is the outside seating going to look like?
It would be right in front of the entry right here. It would, I think it's just 4 tables, 4 small tables. Three tables, 3 or 4 tables here in the front. 5 Guys had outdoor dining as well.
Panera has
How many
that.
tables do they have?
Didn't they show us something?
Off the
Is it
top.
just about the same, 3, 4 tables?
Yeah, I think so. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Sorry. 3. Thank you.
You're gonna have 3, or 5 Guys has 3?
5 Guys has 4.
Okay.
Did we request any additional delineation for 5 Guys? I don't remember.
Oh, like a fence almost.
5 Guys doesn't have alcohol either.
They do not, correct?
I don't care. I'm just bringing up issues.
So you'd serve alcohol?
Dickey's, that is their plan.
So that,
They'll have to have it fenced
yeah,
in.
there's, you got to define the premises, and typically there's which makes it more complicated, sitting on a patio with alcohol, because you typically need a fan, you know, you need to delineate the area.
COVID world, it doesn't seem to
In the
matter.
real
but-
world, it doesn't really matter, but the reality is that you have to kind of take that stuff into account.
Right now, Five Guys there has 3 fence sections to delineate their patio.
Okay.
Dickies would do the same.
Thank you.
Is
I'll
that-
ask the developer to get a more defined site plan showing that.
Yeah, I think that's probably important. So motion was made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Really glad you're coming to Greenfield.
Absolutely.
And agreed.
No,
They used to have a place in New Berlin, they used to have a place on 43rd.
Yeah, that's, I was a little bit, I'm
It's a
happy that you're com-
franchisee, yeah.
I've seen you guys shutting down in different parts of the country.
I'm not part of Dickies with the landlord, but yes, it's a franchisee.
Okay.
They're very excited.
you think of famous days?
Okay, we're all set with that one. Then moving along to item 6, right? Preliminary subdivision plat for Parkview Estates, a proposed single-family development to be located at South 35th and West Barnard Avenue, submitted by Raul Gonzalez, doing business as First West Realty LLC.
Technically, it's 5.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what?
It's item 5 that he's reading. He just said item 6, but
Oh,
that's
oh,
okay.
okay.
Did I miss it again?
You said it right. You read the right one,
It's the
but you
right
said
item, but it was
6.
number 5, not
Ah,
number 6.
jeez, I'm sorry about that. My mind is focused on the Brewers. Apologies.
I know.
They were up 2-0 when I came in.
2-0.
They were up 2-0, bases loaded.
They
Guy-
still are.
Yep.
Did we like get a big screen back here so we could watch that?
I think we have a TV there, do you know?
You're just watching us, which would be more
We're not supposed to watch
exciting.
ourselves anyway. Put the game on up
I
there.
know, no doubt, right? So, okay, Christie?
Thank you. We have a new property owner. This piece of property has switched hands a few times over the years. And this proposal is not a new one to the Plan Commission. It was proposed, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago. And then a certified survey map was before the Plan Commission in 2018 for 3 lots along 35th Street, and then one big outlot in the back. What's before you this evening is for a subdivision plat for a total of 9 lots. And a final subdivision plat needs to be submitted to the Plan Commission and Council for approval if the Plan Commission approves this preliminary proposal. That's how it's laid out in the code. So tonight, it's kind of like a conceptual, but it does require a vote of the Plan Commission. You know, conceptually, yes, we agree that these 9 subdivision plats are okay to move forward with. Then a final proposal comes before you again. In addition to the subdivision, there is a developer's agreement that gets drafted by our engineering department. It's pretty technical, gets into infrastructure and deposits and that kind of thing that are required for this sort of project. In speaking with the developer, latest conversation was just this afternoon. I know the developer would like to get going on lots 1, 2, and 3 to get some revenue to then move forward with the infrastructure that is required for the cul-de-sac. And with that, the developer is requesting for approval to move forward with lots 1, 2, and 3, the actual development. He would put down a deposit for the sidewalk. So there's a sidewalk along 35th Street today. The developer is giving 30 feet giving right-of-way back to the city. The right-of-way lines are quite screwed up here. You can see on the western side it jets over and then jets back, and this will make a consistent solid north-south line with shifting the lot line to the east a little bit. So the sidewalk today would be removed, replaced with a new sidewalk that shifts east. We would require a deposit for that new sidewalk as a guarantee that it'll be done, and refund once occupancy of the third house is requested. In addition, the developer has implied that he does intend on building the cul-de-sac and infrastructure starting next summer, June 2022. He does feel that he would be able to complete that infrastructure and cul-de-sac by December 31st of 2022. So that deadline would be placed in the developer's agreement. So with those caveats being included in the agreement, staff feels comfortable to allow them to start with lots 1, 2, and 3. Again, necessary revenue to invest in the infrastructure. So this lot is zoned R2A. It's single-family residential, that's all it can be. It cannot be multifamily. And as I noted in the staff report, there are a few lots, 4 lots specifically, these 4 that don't meet the front yard width requirement of that particular zoning district. But if you do require that width of 85 feet, you're going to lose at least 1 or 2 lots. That's, you know, a loss of taxable value to the city. So staff does recommend that they be able to move forward with the proposed lot layout as you see before you.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
In the developer's agreement, I'm guessing that the lots 1, 2, and 3, you're mandating that the driveway approaches go where they are shown?
Yes, absolutely. The driveway can only go to 35th Street. There would be absolutely no entrance to Barnard Avenue. The cul-de-sac lots would all be accessed on 34th. So any,
Okay,
yep.
So the sidewalks of the first 2 would be on the, that'd be west, and the other, number 1, I think it was. Yeah, lot 1 is on the east side of the home, the access point.
Oh, you're saying the driveway here. Oh, is that what you're asking?
That is what
Carl?
I'm asking.
Okay, I think this is, I'm assuming this is where the driveway location proposals would be. I'm not sure if that's foreseeable to change or not. I guess the developer maybe would be better
I
equipped to
would
answer
think that would be
that.
the best spot for especially number 3. And in concert with that, if you go to the cul-de-sac with a narrow width, if we can have lots 6 and 7, separate those 2 driveways for snow removal, so they're not obviously on the right-of-way as well, easement.
This is not a driveway. Is that what-
Easement, no, that's an easement.
Uh-huh.
I just want them separated so our
There's no shared.
DPW can have a place
So
to,
it's not, no shared no shared driveway, you're saying?
I
or-
just want them spread as far apart as they can be.
Okay.
So you can plow the snow and put it someplace. So
Okay.
if they go straight down the
I see what you're saying.
end of the
yeah.
road, they can pile the snow without having too much
I
trouble.
see what you're saying, yep.
Is that different than what they had planned? I didn't,
I don't know the driveway
I think they thought of
locations.
it, they just
Okay.
usually don't, but
Okay.
on a narrow lot.
Do you understand,
it becomes more
Raul?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
So how does this compare to the one that was approved? A long time ago, there was a plan like this approved.
Had less lots, so I thought.
It had less lots. It had the frontage road expanded because we didn't want the driveways to go to 35th Street, especially with all the traffic that's there, right? Do you have a copy of, can you put a Google map on that screen or not? Can you do that or not?
Sure.
There's a way.
This is like the 10th rendition, if not.
I can,
Carl, what were you
Well,
I can-
it's
suggesting?
do you want me to
second or
quick-
third.
Suggesting that lot number 3, the driveway go to Bernard?
No,
No,
No.
Farthest
the
away
lot
from
to go to
Bernard.
35th
yeah,
Street.
you want it as far away from Barnard.
As far away, okay, all
It'd be
right.
really cool to see what we approved the first time, because we spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours the first time around.
can you come up to the podium, please? I just, hold on, let me make sure it's turned
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
we did.
That's really, that's really.
Just a second, please.
Did this. It was 3 and 7. That's it. I'm sorry.
Now it's turned on.
Hello? Okay. Mr. Nitschke, my name is Calvin Klimek with Pioneer Engineering, and I'm the author of the preliminary plat. And Metropolitan did a layout which I believe was approved in concept.
Not, so we're not referring to the 2018, we're referring to a
No, I
long,
did
long.
the certified survey map in 2018.
Okay.
That was just for the 3
Right.
lots. But
Which got rejected.
No, it was approved.
The 3
It was
lots were
approved.
Yep.
yeah, that was approved. There was just, Mr. Klamrowski didn't
Yeah.
come to terms with the city on a sidewalk.
Right.
So this, I just want to be clear, the
Right.
eastern part or the western part, those 3 lots are already approved. They're already to
But
go.
it was not recorded.
It was not
So
recorded.
you have to redo it.
Yes, so we said, okay, well, let's make a subdivision out of it instead of coming back with a certified survey map. And that way, all the lots are lot number whatever of a subdivision, and it's more of a homey feeling. So lots 1, 2, and 3, the lots are virtually the same. well, they're a little,
They're narrower.
no, they're still about 100 feet wide, but they used to be about
Length.
120 feet deep, because at that time, it was 15,000 square foot lots, and now it's 12,000 square foot lots. And so,
That stormwater, I'm not trying to be a
Yep.
horses behind, that stormwater area that you have there,
yes,
that was sort of included in the lots, wasn't it, to some extent?
At one point it was,
at one point, yes, when they were gonna do a certified survey map, they were going to do a stormwater management pond behind the lots, but now the lots are 100 feet wide or 100 feet deep instead of 120 feet deep. But the stormwater management pond is still 85 feet in width, going from west to east. Now, I've done quite a few developments here in the city of Greenfield and during my career, and it's always been that the lot width for the cul-de-sac lots, or for all the lots, are
Average the
actually,
back and the front, right?
pardon me?
You average the front and the back, kind of.
No, actually, it's measured at the base setback line, which is 35 feet off the right-of-way line. So it'd be the front of the building. And so those are all 85 feet wide at that base setback line. And also, my predecessor, which I believe was Metropolitan in 2004 kind of thing, had the same basic lot width as what we have. So it's, anyhow,
What's going to happen with that stormwater management area? What's going to happen with the stormwater management area?
each lot will have a undivisional or undividable fractional ownership of that outlot, and they will maintain it. There'll be a homeowners association that will need to maintain the pond. And I'm certain that the city, like any other community, has regulations on periodic maintenance of the ponds and whatnot as time goes forward.
So I think the concern has always been that you would do 3 lots and then the cul-de-sac wouldn't get done. And I thought before, when they wanted to do the 3 lots, they didn't want to do stormwater management, or there wasn't the requirement to.
Correct.
So is there going to be the desire to create the pond with the 3 houses? Or are you going to wait until the cul-de-sac goes in?
The cul-de-sac, because the 3 lots don't need those approval. You have to go to MMSD to get the approval, and the pavement area on the cul-de-sac triggers that approval. And if we try to get that pond in this year, it's not going to happen by the time we get approvals, to make that happen through the city.
So let's just pretend we did everything that you wanted. We approved these 3 lots. We accepted the deposit for the sidewalk. We didn't make you put the stormwater management pond in. We didn't make you put the cul-de-sac in, like you're suggesting with the new CSM, right? And there is something in the agreement that says, well, if you don't do it, then you lose it. You're essentially losing the deposit for the sidewalk. Is that a true statement? I think.
that's the way I interpret it
And
too.
I haven't seen what Christie was talking about the return of a deposit,
so, I mean, to put the little bit of sidewalk in there is probably
10 grand.
maybe,
Yeah,
right? So one of the problems that we historically have had is just letting those 3 lots go in without kind of addressing the rest of it. And essentially, you could do that with a sidewalk deposit. You could put the sidewalk in, and we could keep the deposit. And you'd still be further ahead, right? Kind of. I guess, and I'm not trying to be
No, we've got
so
nothing.
one of the things that happened, things just kind of blend with time sometimes. When we had the deeper lots along 35th Street, deeper, not wider,
right.
that was sort of with there were some trade-offs because there's that frontage road there, right? And he said, okay. And I don't remember completely, but I thought it was like, one, you either extend the frontage road so there are no driveways that go onto 35th Street, which would require a deeper lot, right? Which would be safer because there's a lot of stuff happening at that intersection at 2 times during the day. And I thought we said at that time that if you do that, that's really cool, and that would make, everybody would be more happy, right? And, right? And that was kind of, I thought that was the trade-off for the 3 lots.
I seem to recall that we were regulated on which side of the building the driveways would go for those 3
It
lots.
was so complicated, because the real,
It-
the
it
real
was-
problem at the time was that you're putting these driveway approaches really close to a busy intersection at least twice a day. And the current CSM that you're proposing makes the driveway even shorter, right? So if there's somebody, they have 4 kids and they have 4 cars, where do the people park? Because there ain't enough room in the driveway. And there's no place to park on 35th, there is one of those concerns, right?
No, because we're granting an additional, you already have your right-of-way, that's out there.
Yeah, but you can't park there.
I know, I understand that, but we're granting another 30 feet, okay? And then we have a 35-foot setback, so from the, your,
So, okay, let's go with me. So, okay, let's pretend you have enough driveway to park all of these cars and trucks, okay? And people are all parked in the driveway to the sidewalk, which is where they can park,
okay,
right? Mm-hmm. And you're at the stop sign on 35th and Barnard facing west, and you're looking for traffic that's coming from the south. Can you see it?
On lot number 3, you're talking?
If you're on Barnard making a left-hand or right-hand turn, you're facing east at 35th Street, and there are cars in the driveway, whether it's on the north side of the lot or the south side of the lot, you can't see what's coming down 35th Street.
I would agree with you.
It's hard enough kind of now sometimes with just or it used to be.
I thought we wanted the frontage road extended.
We did.
That was my recollection.
Yeah, some sort of conversations happened between engineering and developer in those times. I was not employed here, so I guess
Right, this isn't a reflection of you or anything. It's just that,
The frontage road made sense from a safety standpoint.
and then there was a discussion, I thought, after the 3 lots, right, the long lots with the extension of the frontage road, there was discussion about, well, it's not cost effective for us to have to put in the other lots. And then there was discussion, well, maybe we'll just sell it back to the school district. And there was talk about that because the school district had a really crappy well, in my opinion, purely my opinion, had a superintendent that sometimes didn't look out for the best long-term interests of the school district. And they sold this piece of property, and now the school district is struggling to find outdoor recreational space for its activities. So there was some of that discussion going on too.
There's also, since at some point, someone did some midnight dumping here. This is on the DNR's,
Yeah, there was a lady that used to.
DNR's, it's called the BERTS site, identifying contaminated sites. I'm sure, I know, Raul, you're
Somebody
well
changed
aware of that.
Somebody changed oil in the field on
Yeah.
a tractor or something all the time. So there's a spot there but likely could be cleaned up. It's not, from what I recall, it wasn't one of those things that affected groundwater, and it was one of those things that the soil could be remediated.
So
But-
I actually sent
Yeah,
Christie
you the guy that bought it?
No. So I actually sent Christie a building plan of what we're proposing for the home. And it does have a side entry garage on the right side of the home. So I think that should solve the issue. If you look at, do we have that plan available? Yeah, it's about 2,400 square feet.
Yeah, so my problem isn't the 3 homes. It is kind of the 3 homes, because I think the lot should be bigger, and I don't think you should just leave the field back there well, someday we'll put that in.
No, so she's stipulating we have to start and finish the infrastructure for the phase 2 by December.
Yeah, she's basically saying you have to finish not the infrastructure for the cul-de-sac.
Yes, for the cul-de-sac,
By when?
by December.
December of
This year.
Oh, no.
But if you decide that you don't want to in the spring, the only thing that's the only security that we're holding that you're gonna do it is whatever the amount is for the sidewalk deposit.
Or recommend some sort of other deposit, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but in your developer's agreement, you always had 125%.
We don't always have anything, because we don't have one yet, and they're always unique and
Well,
different.
Jeff has already told me that we need a developer's agreement before anything moves forward, because we talked to Jeff about getting a building permit for this building right here, and actually it was Andrew, and Andrew didn't like the.
Engineering department drafts the developer
Right, and-
agreements.
but-
That'd be Jeff.
But, yeah, Jeff needs to take and do the developer's agreement, and in your developer's agreement is automatically, 120% or 125% of the total construction costs for the pond as well as the roads. So you would have that financial security.
So you're gonna give a deposit for the entire cost of both,
That's
well,
the way
the
that
cul-de-sac road as well as,
I'm sure that
It can
that's-
be a letter of credit, so it's not
Yeah.
cash, right?
yeah, I gotcha. But
Yep.
I'm sure
it's-
that that's
it's
the way Jeff will draft
So-
the
Grabbable.
developer's agreement.
And we are flexible, so I mean, I do want to work with all parties.
I wasn't following how you're thinking that the side entrance to the garage is helpful in the discussion about the parked cars?
Well, if you look at, so if, let's say you look at the layout, I can change. So right now it's on the left
So
side of the home.
cars aren't facing the street.
Exactly. So you're gonna have it's already 3-car garage, so even 4 cars, they're gonna fit all next to the home. And we do have a model that's available, just with the width of that garage. We're not even gonna be close to the street, so that's not gonna be an issue.
The red house across the street,
Say it again?
did you do the house on 43rd and Edgerton?
No, I do know them. I built, so I almost got that contract, but at the same time, I was building one of their family members' homes.
43rd Street?
No, in Franklin.
Okay.
But I do know them personally.
So you're moving the cars to the other side of the garage, thereby that's gonna eliminate,
Correct, so it's not front entry, so you're not going to your driveway straight to your garage, you're actually going, so you have almost the whole length of the side of the house that you're gonna keep going back, which it's a good design for that space.
does that resolve any of what you're talking about?
I wish the lots were longer.
It helps.
Why do you need to, and I'm just asking because I haven't in great detail, with the part of the land that you have dedicated for the stormwater, right? Do you need all of that for the stormwater?
I'm not doing the stormwater calculations as part of my engineering. Mark Elena is doing that. But I can check with Mark to see, now that outlot from east to west is 85 feet wide. And if Mark doesn't need the full 85 feet, say he needs 75 feet, we can take and push those lots 10 feet farther back.
I don't think you need that much
Yeah.
stormwater detention.
There's not
I mean,
gonna
I
be-
don't know.
There's
There's-
not gonna be much that it's overkill. But I can't, until I see Mark's design, I can't tell you.
And that's actually why you're seeing a preliminary plat review today.
Yeah.
And then they have to do the stormwater calculations and figure that out before you get your final
Correct.
subdivision plat before the plan commission. So that will have to be worked out before you see this again.
So if they could skinny up the water retention plot, the
Sure.
frontage road could theoretically still work there.
Right.
Which I still think is the
Still
best
doesn't
design.
work.
What's that?
Frontage road doesn't work because you can't have turnaround.
What?
How do you turn around at the end of that frontage road? Although you can now, but it sucks.
Well, it's just the 3 houses. I mean, you just pull in and
Well,
pull out of
that's
your
more.
driveway.
There was like a T, it was just like it is now, right? There was a house on the very end
Yeah.
that somebody always used to park his camper at.
Oh, yeah.
And
Remember that?
Yeah.
But you can pull out of the driveway, back out of the driveway and get out.
It's no different back in your
It's a
driveway.
real dangerous, I mean, it's a dangerous,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but there's a lot of traffic there. And there's some sightline issues.
I just remember that was why the frontage road was preferred.
The frontage road was an extension of, right?
Existing there.
And then that there was no need for the sidewalk, right? Because the frontage road was essentially the sidewalk.
Correct.
And I still think that's the better way to do it.
I mean, the frontage already there, we're already extending it, so it's a natural extension of what's there.
I will definitely inquire with
But, I
engineering.
mean, I understand that frontage roads are expensive, and I'm not trying, I mean, like a lot, potentially, right?
Maybe that was why, yeah.
And I don't know, but I don't know if it has to be necessarily, it's, the frontage road there is not curbed. Not sure that it necessarily needs to be curbed.
It's all ditch and culvert there. I thought it was all ditch and culvert over there.
It is, it was a, well, it's different now, because when they did Edgerton, they buried all sorts of stormwater
Oh, did they?
stuff.
Okay.
But I'm not, there used to be a big swale in between the frontage road and 35th Street, and as you get closer to Edgerton, they had this big honking hole there that was filled in, that actually,
All right.
I just think having driveways there is bad, but
I would agree. That's why the frontage road we always thought was preferred, but that's also, I know, is a hangup on this development as well. I mean, it's gotta be financially feasible. It has to be. But it's also, if my memory serves, there's 2 more lots in this plan than the original plan from 12, 15 years ago.
yeah, we reduced the number of lots in the cul-de-sac when we approved it.
I think you're right. I think there were 2 less than,
I believe
I
there's
think
2
there were
more lots.
7.
I believe there's 2 more lots in this development than the last one that we reviewed.
I do
15
think there were
years ago, whatever.
7, yes.
I mean, that's going back in the archives a little bit.
And I'd be willing to give the extra 2 lots in exchange for the frontage road. That's what
Absolutely.
I guess is what I'm trying.
Absolutely. I don't have an issue, but I think the frontage road is still the better plan just because of the safety issue.
I just texted Jeff. I asked, do you recall why the frontage road idea was ditched for 35th and Barnard? And he said traffic was bad. Traffic is bad for school.
Well, that we know.
The school,
Google view.
that doesn't really answer the question. I'll try to elaborate more.
Yeah, see, these are short. That's really long.
Yeah, but if we go down to these right here.
It's really bad.
I just know how busy that is.
So these aren't so bad with these driveways? We're just looking at a Google map. I wish we could televise it, sort of.
Asphalt or concrete?
Asphalt.
It doesn't-
The front road would be asphalt.
Okay.
Where the concrete is for
I
sidewalks.
agree with that.
Can you get, is it up there? Kind
So
of.
she has hers up there, so it's the same.
And you're talking about,
So all the way to,
Yeah, that's ours,
no,
isn't
you're
it?
talking to clearing the last driveway.
okay.
That would be my preferred is.
So kind of, it would end on its own.
If we
Yeah,
can make it work.
like it's
And
in
then
the-
Where does the frontage road goes all the way to diverts to then what, Holmes?
It goes back to Holmes.
Go south, yeah.
I think
Holy
the
cow.
existing one's concrete, right?
Yeah, it goes quite a ways.
It goes all the way to Edgerton.
It's asphalt.
Yeah, it
Oh, it
does.
does, you're right. It goes to Edgerton. I didn't realize it went that far south.
It goes to a sidewalk that hits Edgerton.
Yeah.
So there's no sidewalk there now, anywhere.
So
No,
what
it's all
they,
frontage road,
so
yeah.
what we did, when we put Edgerton in, we
Is that a
extended the
is that an existing
sidewalk
sidewalk?
from
Yeah, they added the
Edgerton
sidewalk all
to the
back.
frontage road,
Still things up
or
front.
service road, whatever it's called.
It is busy.
And then at the end of the service road, we extended the sidewalk to Barnard.
Right.
What if we then, like we did on the far bottom edge of that, put another cut into the 35th Street?
I don't know what you mean.
So.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See how we did this little thingy?
Are you talking about at the end of Holmes where it's cut through?
Where she's pointing there
Yeah,
too.
right here.
Yep, yeah, okay.
So as opposed to having 3, we could have where it ends now, just add 1.
What if it just ended with the northern driveway?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to go all the way to the end of the
It doesn't
lot
go to
for the nor-
Barnard.
For the northern lot.
And then you can do a sidewalk, the little bit that's left between end of Service Road to Barnard.
I forget, the service road that meets Edgerton, that doesn't cut through all the way, does it? That's-
No.
Doesn't touch
No, it's-
Edgerton.
No, it doesn't.
No,
It's,
it
But a
ends-
spot before there does.
Joe, just like this.
Yeah, we just put that
Sidewalk.
in, so.
yeah,
I think that's a
okay.
reasonable approach, put a short little sidewalk to touch Barnard.
Yeah.
So the northern end would look like that.
It would
Yep,
look the same as the
agreed.
southern end.
And then,
So
like,
what, like-
did you guys
It
want
would
that
Feet before
road
Barnard,
thing
then
too?
basically?
What you're suggesting, Mr. Mayor, is like 200 to 230 feet of access road, and then
And then a
the
driveway or
other-
sidewalk.
Then the sidewalk could go away,
The
Probably.
sidewalk goes away during that length, and then from the end, then the sidewalk continues as per planned.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would go, the access road would go.
It would
10 feet.
essentially look I don't know if she can show you, but it'd essentially look exactly
Mirror that on the
Like
on the
that.
north end.
on the other side.
Well, I would do it different. I'd keep the existing sidewalk and just stub out. to-
whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
if-
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't tear that sidewalk off.
And just
You-
stub
you
out
just-
to the
Well,
sidewalk.
the sidewalk is gonna be really like sticking out in the middle of the road now, because we're gaining through 30 feet of right-of-way. So you do have to shift that sidewalk east, otherwise it's gonna be like sticking out really close to the road.
I think you have to rip it up.
It's not a big deal.
It's
just
not a
like-
long length then, yeah.
it's not a long-
All right, I didn't think so.
Knock
I
on the
just
north
figured.
then, right?
So there's a couple of things that the snowplow drivers are worried about, right? That there's snow at the end of the street, or a place to put it at the end of the street, like there is there, and there would be at the other end.
At the
Right.
north
Should
end.
go on the, I think this, oh, the service drive isn't gonna line up?
Oh, gee, I think so.
Service drive would
It
continue.
won't
Yeah.
line up with the
It
sidewalk.
just goes all the
Continue.
way through.
You just go straight north.
The sidewalk is way,
Yeah, so
the sidewalk would be here.
Yeah, just
why
a
not
second
keep
here.
it here, then the snow isn't at the
Right
end?
away is gonna be.
So I'm not losing any more of the lot. That's already in the
Oh,
right
so
of way.
it's not gonna be in, the
Yeah, you
sidewalk's
already
not gonna be in the right of way.
If you guys can figure out how to do that, I don't think we would require curb and gutter for that extension,
Okay,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
but it would have to be like whatever it is, right?
Whatever the specs are, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You wanted,
Or wide or something like that.
Whatever, because it's not 30 feet wide there or anything either. It may not even be 24 feet.
There, because you can
so
see it.
we're gaining this,
And so that would go from that end to about
It's probably lower than that,
Yeah, something like that.
south of Barnard.
right?
Which then, it would clear our driveway, and there'd be a T.
People would much rather prefer to live at the end of that, where people aren't cutting through the front of the, it's essentially gonna be their private sidewalk for their kids too, right? At the end of the day.
No, I agree. My son goes to Greenfield, so I drop him off.
You know how it is,
Familiar
I
right?
get it.
It's busy there, it is.
And even on 35th, they have the sidewalk. I mean, cars are just lined up, dropping their kids off, and I get it.
So my question, Mr. Mayor, is why, nothing around here has curb and gutter, but we're being required to put curb and gutter on the cul-de-sac?
it will someday.
So
That is the
that
logic.
neighborhood is set for reconstruction at some point.
Yep,
Okay.
And when it is reconstructed, it will be curb and gutter. And one of the issues with that neighborhood is it's so flat.
It is.
It's incredibly flat and there's very little drainage. And the curb and gutter is actually part, as you know, is part of the stormwater system too, right? So,
Okay.
I would suspect that entire subdivision at some point, that one and the one that's directly south of it, between Edgerton and Grange, will get reconstructed.
one at a
They're
time.
both very
That's all
flat.
we can do.
Yeah, because I was hoping that, if we could.
You were
relax
hoping that
the
you didn't have
curb
to
and-
do it.
we could relax the curb and gutter, that cost, that cost could be
Go towards the frontage road.
towards the access road,
I don't know if it's possible, I don't know,
It's our ordinance, it's curb and
well,
gutter.
if the council can.
Yeah,
The
they
council
can.
can say something like, it can be done to a certain spec as far as asphalt, with the understanding that when the neighborhood gets reconstructed, that special assessment will carry to the property owner. Could do that too.
I think it's in the pretty near future. Jeff did mention it.
It is, it's only
Well,
3
it
or
probably
4
just
years.
makes sense just to do it
yeah.
during construction instead of
Yeah, then rip.
having to
stuff
tell
up.
this, the new buyer that they're gonna have a special assessment.
Right.
Okay,
Just
We
clean your
prefer that
easement.
you did that, right?
correct.
But he's just trying to chisel us.
No, I'm not, it's just my Jewish nature, that's all.
I'm good with the recommendation on the street.
I think it'd be more marketable too for you.
Correct.
Frankly.
And the stormwater area, to minimize the size to the greatest extent possible is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
we'll
And
see if I can
extend-
get the
extend the
20 feet
length of
back.
Yeah, I
those
think you just have
lots.
to work with the other cul-de-sac to get the water.
Holy cow, you
calculations.
found it.
Is that the old one?
That's
Yeah.
the old one.
Oh, that's not the old one, that's.
No, this is the new.
That's this one.
Oh, that's just the two sidewalks.
Yeah.
I got you.
Is there any way to look up on your computer the old one or not?
You know, I tried, yes, I just have to know what engineering, anyone know what this was called as a
The
project?
same name,
I'm sorry?
The same name.
Parkview Estates.
Parkview, thank you.
Yeah,
Engineering, everything is Parkview Estates.
It could be
There
Parkview
we
Meadows
go.
too.
Okay, old proposal. See, Jeff's got this organized very well.
because Craig tried to look it up and he said, what's the name? I said, I.
There it is,
No idea.
right there, 2008. So you have
Nice.
6,
9.
9.
5, 6.
See, there's no frontage road there either.
Yep.
That was before the street.
no, but that was one of the issues I thought back then, wasn't it?
2013, see the date here?
Yeah, it's 2013.
Yeah,
There's
because
one
this is
before.
Metropolitan's.
Yeah, well, there's like 10
Yeah, it
before
is,
that.
yeah,
There's a
Yeah.
10.
it is 9.
Did this one get
They
passed?
were a little bit different, but pretty similar.
It's got one more lot?
No, it's
No, it's
got
same
9.
lot.
Is it the same lot?
It has
Same lot,
9,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Just think that all that land on that stormwater's just,
So would the new street be after the third, kind of, similar to how you were stipulating with the sidewalk? So to do the new access, let's say if we proceeded in the right of way, we did the street that you want,
Extend the frontage road?
correct? So that would be,
Yeah, let's go back to that one with the yellow buildings.
so that would be required before occupancy of that third home,
Right.
okay.
we did extend it, didn't we? Did we, or didn't we?
See, this is the old one, this is the sidewalks again, it looks like a road.
But that
It
was,
looks
I
like a
thought that
road
was.
to me, that,
That's the sidewalks, the old sidewalk and the new
Yeah,
sidewalk.
this is today's sidewalk right here, and then this is the
This is
new.
the new one.
Yes,
and
it's
then it
just,
lines up.
yeah.
this is the existing.
At one point we did, I know we did.
Existing right here.
So what
Here's
we're
the
gonna
new-
do is extend the road from the south to about 10 feet north of that driveway for lot number 3. And then continue the sidewalk from
Right.
there back to the plan,
the
Up to Barnard, yeah.
Up to
up to
Barnard.
Barnard.
Yep.
That's what,
Yep.
okay.
So think about where the end of the street, because I can't envision it all completely, but when they plow that frontage road, okay, that snow's gonna get piled at the end.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to kind of think about sight lines and everything. So you want wherever that road ends, that service road ends, to be as far south as you possibly can with the snow, right? Otherwise, you're gonna have a big-ass pile of snow right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Or big,
Of course,
sorry,
yeah.
big pile of snow.
I know what you mean.
And then you have to worry about where the sidewalk is.
And then
so
you
it's
gotta
in
worry
the
about
middle.
sidewalks and buses and all that other stuff.
When I talk to Mark, later this week, I'll see if I can take and narrow up lot 1 and 2 a little bit and get it closer to the 85 feet, and that way it'll increase the width of 3, and it'll drop the sidewalk to the or the driveway to the south, because the whole building can shift.
Yeah,
But-
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And maybe you can make it longer by reducing the amount of,
10, yeah,
right,
10 or 20 feet in the back, that'll give me the square footage to work with. So,
that's a good plan. Everybody think that's a good?
we'll just come
makes
back, with that on a final plat, but I'll let Kristen
Yes,
know
yeah.
what the decisions are.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I still like the additional cut from the service drive on to 35th Street at some point.
So nobody can, do you wanna?
What?
Say that again, Carl.
At
there's
the,
like
by
this little-
Edgerton, where
like an
Edgerton
hour-
ends up,
There's like an hourglass thing that goes into 35th Street.
Where do you want to put that?
I want to put it at, like, right there.
Wanting it right at the end.
Keep going down, not there.
Okay.
One of those.
Oh, a flare
Yeah,
here.
he's wanting that up right at
Where
the
would you like it up in north, though?
property number 1,
As-
correct?
Yeah, on property 1, for our snow plows don't have to back up the entire length.
I see what you're saying.
Do you think some of the school traffic will then get in there?
Oh, no.
Well, only once.
Not really.
No
One
outlet.
mistake.
There's no
'cause
point,
there-
there's no
there's no
reason for them
northern-
to go in there.
There's no northern outlet, so.
Okay, all right.
So that way the snow plows, when they go this way, they can back up only that far.
3 houses versus,
That is a long way to back up, yeah.
And probably the,
Yeah, because you don't want them turning around there. I mean,
I don't think they can.
There's not
they
room,
could
yeah.
back into the guy's driveway and turn around and probably
No,
not supposed to.
Yeah, we
They won't
don't.
ever do
Okay,
that.
okay.
Or they better not do that.
Yeah, we get in trouble.
We end up paying for driveways when they do that.
True. It's just a thought. I think engineering might agree. And farthest,
it's worth putting for discussion.
I don't know if there's a ditch there. it may be just the inclusion of a culvert.
There is a ditch in there, so it'll have a culvert, yeah. Everything drains pretty well.
Does that affect, like, the big pile of snow there, does that affect drainage a lot?
I don't think so. There's a big pile of snow there now anyways.
If you tell your snowplow to go through and cast it out back up to 35th Street, then there won't be a pile at all.
Yeah, so they can't do it, right? They can't, because they can't usually turn around back there. They usually require like a T,
Huh?
so they can do a big Y, kind of,
Yeah.
or big T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Alderperson Kastner's right, they would need something to turn around. It's a lot easier to back out 240 feet than it is 500 or 600 feet.
And you'd be backing out to homes as opposed to the street you're on with cross traffic.
So basically where the S is and 35th.
Right where the S, right where that S is.
Well, lot 1 would be.
If you could do that, wherever it's the most convenient, I guess, and fits in, I think
Yeah.
that sort of makes sense.
I agree.
Okay, is that okay? Sound good?
I'm okay with that.
Cool.
No, I think, it'd be nice to see it's developed.
Okay, so do we have to make a motion to approve the preliminary plat with the comments that we had this evening?
Yep.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Weiss, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Okay, we'll be in touch.
Have something going in that property, very good.
Thank you.
I'll get you guys some new site plans.
Yeah.
Once Mark and I talk. about it.
Right, yeah. Okay, thank
You're
you.
gonna,
Everybody have a good night.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank you.
you're gonna be in there before your kids graduate, or?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Are you gonna move there, or are you gonna sell it, or what? do you-
No, no, it's,
It's a
well,
spec.
there's 3 of them that are already sold. So I build through Amwood Homes. I'm an authorized builder for them out of Janesville. So I mean, it's pretty impressive when you drive by, you know, one day there's nothing and 2 days later the whole house is up.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Can we ask
Awesome,
them for a building
thank you very
permit?
much.
You wanna ask them for a building permit?
Oh, building permit?
Yeah.
You can't get a building permit until you have it.
Well, we'd like to take,
I mean,
and
so-
during this process, we'd like to
So
take
just
and-
so you know that we are never the cause of an unreasonable delay.
Correct.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
So there are some codes that I've been reminded of by Christie in fairness. So when you build a new house,
Sure.
right, you need the certified survey map and you need the surveyor to tell you where it's gonna go,
Exactly.
okay?
And that's what this is.
And this is clearly one of those situations.
That's what I'm here for.
Huh?
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for. So,
You got a lot more drawing to do.
so the way that it works with it, we don't mess around with timing. If your stuff is ready to go, you will get the permit when you need it. But
Okay.
first things first, we can't issue a building permit, obviously, if there isn't a CSM yet. And certainly you can't do it if there isn't a CSM that shows where the building is actually gonna be,
Exactly.
okay? But we
We'll work with you.
we
to get it
don't,
done,
we
yeah.
work,
It was a fair question, that's all.
Is there an architecture review board for that plan I sent you?
there isn't, but the only thing we ask is that everything that you do is rock star, right? Make it look like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
where you wanna live, right?
Sure.
We're just trying to make the city a better place,
You
and
have to do 3 days.
Like I said, we have a model to show. I mean, it looks nice.
yeah, no, that's good.
Oh.
All right. I think you'll sell quickly.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sure
well,
we'll-
I'm getting a lot of calls already, so.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
So it's already on MLS.
All right, good.
On
good,
MLS.
Perfect, awesome. All right, thank you. Item 6 is temporary use permit for a proposed tent structure at the outdoor dining area of Fox's Pub, an existing business located 4395 South 76th Street. For them, I would just make a motion to approve this.
Didn't we do this last year?
I think we did it for COVID last year. During the summer, sometimes it's a challenge with noise and sound and chaos. In the winter, we had no problems whatsoever with them that I was aware of. So I'd make a motion to approve that. Second by Commissioner Carlson, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
It is an ideal spot because it's somewhat hidden from the fence and the landscaping they have.
It's a good spot.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff on 894 in Loomis going on right now.
When's that last house coming down, next to Starbucks?
I'm not sure if that one's gonna
I-
get moved or not,
Oh, it might.
but there's also been some utility disconnect issues.
I didn't know if there was.
So it's just, I think as soon as the utilities are disconnected, it's coming down. Some of them have been moved. I think that was one that they were talking about moving.
I
I'm not
think
sure if
so.
they are.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
84 South, when are they breaking ground on the corner?
Well, it's an issue with potential tenants, so I had,
Yeah, that's
We'll
where the
see.
mayor's statue is gonna be.
I think it'll be in the spring. I think
Is that the
Mayor
holdup?
Sider right there, he's gonna go up
Is
there.
that the holdup? We're putting a statue of the mayor up there?
Yeah, Mayor Sider, he's still reviewing the plan.
Any
No,
word
so
about
there's some,
the restaurant is going in, the breakfast place is going in Baker Square?
so somebody asked me about the honey,
Honey pie, honey bear?
Honeyberry, honeyberry.
my understanding, unless you've heard something different, my understanding is that it's the lack of help that's being, it's difficult to staff a new restaurant when existing restaurants themselves can't be staffed.
That does
And I think
seem to
that's accurate, because they're,
Well, that does seem to be an issue everywhere, so I can't take
Yeah.
no argument about that, because that.
Everyone's-
I tried to go to McDonald's last night at 7 o'clock, and it was closed. I was shocked.
Oh, really? Which one?
I'm not gonna say, it's not in our community, though.
You gotta start eating better, Mike.
I love Big Macs. How could you eat any better than that?
It's big and it's a Mac, yes. it is.
Vegetarian.
So, and we're not moving those power lines on the,
We don't know what we're doing. So when it comes to the power lines themselves, you can go through it if you want, but in essence, ATC required a significant deposit for the engineering of those power lines and the ultimate location. It was about $100,000 for
Just
them
for the
to-
engineering?
For the engineering to come up with a plan of where the power lines could go. The cost to move the power lines has ranged from when Rick was here, I think it was about $2 million.
A pole?
For the whole thing then. Now it's, the range is between 3 and 5 million, which is significant, but it's a huge range. And it is a very valuable, it adds a lot of value to the property.
Which property is it?
The north of 894,
Gotcha.
so,
we're by the turf, kind of.
Gotcha.
But where the interchange.
so we don't. get-
Something will probably have to be done anyways, because
don't get
the
more
elevation of
value.
the whole thing is coming down about 18 feet. So,
What about Springwell Trip? Any
But the
progress?
power lines being where they are, doesn't that decrease the value of what can be done?
it
problem.
well, when we were trying to buy it and the appraisers went through it, it was certainly argued that it decreased the value. And it does decrease the value because it decreases the amount of usable space. You can park underneath it, but you can't build underneath it. So if those things were adjacent to the freeway, like they are in the Beltway in Madison and other places, that would be a good thing, because it frees up the entire site. And if you don't have the restrictions of the power lines, you can do more things.
Spring Mall? Any-
Met with a potential user. We're still waiting on that, so it would be an awesome use
For 84 or?
for that site right there.
Gotcha.
So Spring Mall itself, there have been some discussions, I think, is a fair statement, with a construction firm that's been hired by an end user to navigate the whole process. I think that there's still continues to be enthusiasm, but one never knows what they're going to do or what their final plan is. Is that a fair statement?
It is.
It would give us daytime traffic probably too.
It would probably provide more daytime traffic. My concern was that there may also be other noises that are, I mean, during the day, that's fine, but whether or not that's a good thing at night is another thing. So all those things are being taken into account right now.
And do we still have to move electrical box there as well? For the
That's all
military?
coming out.
It would be
I-
100%
so I would
demolition.
caution us to.
All demolished.
There's existing leases there, right? So, I mean, obviously, anything
Yeah.
that any potential user would do, they would have to deal with the leaseholders. And I think one of those leases is till 2022 or 2023. So,
What our project on the sidewalks that's going from, or the walking path?
Badgerland Trail?
So I don't know if you heard this, so we had the initial grant from 60th to 105th Street, or 105th, right? We got an additional grant to extend it from 43rd to 60th.
Yeah.
That begins in the spring. This is for the Power Line Trail.
That'd be nice.
Long
Have we
Cold
started
Spring
on any of that yet, or not, it's just all starting on?
So right now, all the engineering's happening.
Okay.
We're coordinating, Forest Home is gonna get kind of resurfaced in all the intersections where there's pedestrian traffic. Those are all gonna get redone next year or the year after. So we're coordinating with them on all sorts of things. 4 years?
2024, they said, didn't they?
Yeah, Christie, can you shrink that down a little bit
Yeah, I
and
think
just
it's-
take your
yeah,
arrow
that's-
where that walking path is
That's 2
gonna
years.
be?
Are you talking about this?
That's it.
Yeah, that's
Is,
it.
is that it? That's the whole thing? Okay, it's just.
Well,
43rd Street.
yeah, a lot further.
The 105th.
So it's
So
all,
that's really quite cool because
You can see the,
all underneath all those power cords.
yes, yep,
they're actually shifted. It's the old.
Webco.
It's the old interurban.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
a train
the
line
Be a
there.
train
train
line.
line.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Back in the day.
Okay, okay.
Until there was a terrible accident.
Exactly.
Is that what stopped
That
it?
happened in
Exactly.
Greenfield. I think it
Oh, I know
actually
that.
happened in Greenfield too. Or Hills Corner.
I think it was the north-south going though.
That'd be nice when that's in though.
Closer to West Dallas, probably.
General Motors kind of got rid of them
Probably.
too when they got buses. So.
Yeah.
So that's the spring that will start, the construction of that will start.
Okay, cool.
The other thing that we're working on is at Conkle Park, remember the water issue? North of Layton and east of Loomis, behind one of the houses, there was a pond
Yep.
that everyone, the rumor was that it was spring fed or something. So now that the vegetation is down, you can see that most of that area had been filled with construction debris. And you can see all sorts of clay pipes and stuff that sort of drained into that area, and it had been drying out. So if there'd been a spring there, I'm guessing it wouldn't be filling with
Wouldn't be
water. It's, if you ever, and you probably shouldn't do this because there's no trespassing signs, but if you ever walked around behind the houses on Layton Avenue, you'd be amazed at how much debris and concrete and old stone and bricks and stuff, it was all filled in with stuff.
This is all dumb.
It was all dumped in there.
So was the farmer's market.
It was. I mean, most of the area along 894 was all, wild rice in the old days
Exactly,
and lowland, right? And over the course of time, it had been filled in. I keep saying this, I mean, I don't know what the land is like over there, but where Meyer is right now, if you dug down 10, 12 feet, you'd have a layer of peat, that is as virgin as it comes. That's probably 10, 12, 15 feet thick. So that entire section had to be put on pilings so the building wouldn't sink. Might be different as you get further east, but there's a ton of, and then the homes too. I mean, there's some sadness, right, to see these homes, the one on 43rd Street at the very end of the street behind one of the wooden corner shelves. They'd always throw like time capsules in, like newspapers. So there was a newspaper in there when the house was built from 1936, and it said, Hitler welcomed Winter Olympics. So that's when those houses were built, way back when. But walking through most of them, they were pretty tough, especially the ones along Layton Avenue. Like really, really rough. With boards holding stuff up, and, I mean, it was, so it's exciting. Christie's done an amazing job getting all that stuff together and coordinating everything. It's not an easy thing to do at all.
4-4.
And she's very much appreciated for doing that, because she's very good at what she does.
I saw that.
What's that?
It's 4-4.
It's 4-4,
Oh,
top of the
time to
sixth.
go.
Yeah, so the last time we had a Bucks game, do you remember that? They were up in the third quarter and we all left, and they got killed at the end when we left. So I think we should probably just stay here.
Positive thoughts.
What inning is it?
6.
Yeah. All right, so with that being said, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
By
Second it.
Carlson, second by Weiss, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.